Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, which you probably are. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me because I kind of look and I need to feel you know. Well, while we're doing the get ready with me, we're going to be talking about the whole Shane Dawson situation. I wanted to film this a lot earlier than I am right now, only because it didn't have a mirror before. And new information about Shane Dawson has been coming out over the past few weeks and I wanted to wait. But it seems like Jeffree Star isn't going to say anything, so I'm just going to do it now. Okay, so let's get started. So, I'm going to apply my sunscreen first before we start because sunscreen is important, kids. Let's start all the way back to the whole Dramageddon 2 situation with James Charles because that's you. Oh, I forgot to take my glasses. Tati that first put out the video saying that James has been coming on to straight guys and trying to make them gay and trying to change their sexuality, and everyone just kind of hopped onto Tati's side and not even questioning it, which I think is kind of rude. But I did the same thing, so I'm also talking about myself. And then Jeffree Star, I was about to say Jeffree Charles. Jeffree Star came out saying that, oh, there's a reason why James is banned from my house. He's a danger to society. And people just got onto Tati's side even more because Jeffree Star was involved. And then after a few weeks, Shane Dawson, he posted an Instagram picture with Tati and him. And that kind of riled things up even more because that kind of shows that Shane Dawson was on Tati's side, which means that Tati has to be true, right? No, because James Charles came out with a video a few weeks or a few months later, I forgot how long it was, debunking basically every claim that Tati made. However, we never got the actual truth. There's a lot of stuff that we still don't know. So that brings us up to date to a few, like the beginning of this year, where a lot of people were questioning the whole situation because Jeffree Star retweeted Charli D'Amelio's tweet when her and James Charles collabed on James Charles's YouTube channel. Jeffree Star basically said, oh, James does nothing wrong or something along those lines, and that kind of brought a lot of question to people saying like, but you said that he was a danger to society, what happened now? So what, is he not anymore? Well, was the whole thing was just to bring down James Charles? Because if you remember, Tati brought down her video, which we'll get into in a minute. I forgot to say it in the video, but with the Tati's video being put down, Tati said that it was YouTube who made her like take it down. So I don't know what that's about, or YouTube is somewhat involved in this. So yeah, okay, that's it. Back to the video. Jeffree Star also brought down his video, and the only video that's still up is James Charles. So he must have some kind of leverage against the other two that we don't know about. Because there's a lot that we don't know about, which is why people are still talking about it. And people were asking, like, commenting on different, like, drama channels, saying, like, why are you still talking about this? They got over it. We should get over it, too. It's like, no, it's because we still don't know a lot of things. We have questions that need to be answered. So what happened next was that Jeffree Star went on the Mom's Basement podcast, basically saying like, oh, I got this voice note of a supposed alleged victim of James Charles, and I can like play it to you if you want, which is not, bro, if the victim hasn't come out now, that means that they're not ready for it yet. You're not granting the person's wishes. So that's kind of rude of him and just not a good thing to be doing. But, you know, the voice note has been out a lot now. Like, a bunch of people have it, or, like, a bunch of people heard it. But no one called the police, which is stupid. But it also makes you question, like, is it that valid? But at the same time, I get that how other people that have heard it can't really do that because it would be, it wouldn't be right for the victim because it should be the victim's story and not theirs. But you know, now people are making it their story, posting about it on their channel. You're trying to it's kind of pushing the victim out, and I don't think that's right either. I don't even know what I would do if I had the supposed voice note or whatever it was. Okay, well anyway, a bunch of Jeffree Star's friends came up and started telling their side of the story about how they knew about Dramageddon 2 was about to happen and how like Jeffree Star treated them behind closed doors, and they're scared that Jeffree Star put a hit out on them and scared for their lives and stuff like that, which brought to question like, what is Jeffree Star doing that is making all of these people scared for their lives, basically, and moving from like their home to another home, which is not easy, by the way. And it just brings out the question like, how powerful really is Jeffree Star? And the whole Jeffree Star aura about him is that he's scary. No one talks out about him because they know that he has dirt on everyone, which is basically just, you know, blackmail at this point. And we know from like everything that Jeffree Star don't have friends. He wants to get ahead of basically everyone. You saw what happened with Manny and now James Charles and Shane Dawson at this point now, because basically dropped him. And it's just sad because you have this huge platform and you could be doing so much good, but instead you're making a whole community look bad because of your actions. Shane Dawson came out with a classic apology notepad essay that he wrote and posted it to Twitter, and then deleted it a few hours later, saying like, oh, I responded, there you go, but I deleted it, psych, you know, that kind of thing. It's so stupid. The whole notepad apology essay was not even an apology. He basically says, I'm leaving the beauty community. Like, you weren't ever in it in the first place, which he did admit in the later apology, which actually wasn't an apology either. The whole thing was saying how bad the beauty community was. Like, it thrives on being negative. Like, I know a ton of not negative beauty influencers. I'll be linking majority of the people I know in the description box, and also some of their drama channels that I've talked about this whole situation that I trust and I like. I had like a whole response thing to the classic beauty guru apology notepad situation, but I'm too lazy to actually bring it up. Like, and it's the whole thing's also like very counterintuitive, if you can call it that. It's basically saying like how bad these beauty influencers are, but like you're hanging out with the most dramatic and the most problematic beauty influencer there is, and that's Jeffree Star. But you're saying like, oh, but he's family and I forgive him. Like, if anything, you should be holding your family to a higher standard than anyone else. If you hate the beauty community so much, then wouldn't you hold them to a lower standard than you are to Jeffree Star? You know what I mean? Because like the whole time he's talking about how like the whole beauty community is just based off of drama, and at the end of the day, like, makeup comes second to the hype and stuff like that, which is not true, might I add. Where is my brushes? I didn't bring my brushes. Hold on. If you want me to actually respond to the whole notepad thing, I will, but right now I don't feel the need to, because a lot of other people have said exactly what I wanted to say, so there's no point. Okay, moving on. Let's talk next about, after the notepad apology, a bunch of people came out and said like, that was stupid, Shane, you shouldn't have done that. But then of course his most loyal fans came out and was like, oh my god, thank you for speaking out about this, you know how much this means to me and stuff like that. It's like, bro, it's not even that good. It's not even an apology. It's not even a statement. Well, I guess it's his statement. I mean, he said that he was trying to be lighthearted about this, but like, weren't you the one that in the later apology said that I have a lot of anger involved in this? Like, why would you have a lot of anger if you're trying to play it off as, you know, funny? Anger, I don't think is funny. Then a lot of Shane Dawson's past, racist acts and things have been coming out, and still coming out, might I add. And then, of course, his most loyal fans are saying, but it was a past, and look, if there was a past, why is Shanae merch still, it was still on sale until, like, I'm pretty sure a few months ago, or, like, last year. And he was still wearing the Shanae merch when he was collabing with James Charles on that one video. Let's talk about Shane Dawson's, like, racist and pedophile acts that he has been accused of. And, well, I mean, I guess it's not really accused, because all of it's online, so I mean, it's pretty easily. First, it was the whole Shanae thing, which was based off of, like, all the stereotypes of a ghetto lady, and he said the N-word a bunch of times. He did blackface. He made racist jokes against basically every single race. He, like, basically jacked off to a picture of Will Smith, who at the time was, like, underage. And now there was, like, a bunch of, like, video chat rooms on Migos where he was telling, like, underage kids to, like, oh, take off your shirt, twerk for me, and stuff like that, which is just so inappropriate. He says that, like, oh, they're all jokes. Like, no one finds this funny. When has ever been funny? On, like, his podcast, which a lot of this is from, there was a person that was, like, a young Instagrammer who, she was a child and she doesn't wear much clothes, but at the same time, like, you know, even if a kid isn't wearing anything, you shouldn't be making any kind of jokes towards it. Towards them. It's just rude. It's not even rude. It's just wrong. You know, it's morally wrong. Course, all the parents have come out and talked about it. Jada Smith, is that her name? Jada Smith, Willow Smith's mom came out and said how terrible she felt when she saw that, when she heard that. And also Jaden Smith came out also saying like I don't accept this. If the people that are being affected by this won't support him or don't actually accept his apology, then what gives you the right to accept it on their behalf? You know, it's like the same thing with the black people. What gives you the right to accept their apology on their behalf? Like, we were all bamboozled into thinking that Shane Dawson was this great person, which, I mean, some people didn't like him, my friends included. Some of my friends were like, I never watched him in the first place. I was like, I wish. Because he involved himself with the most dramatic people ever. Jake Paul, Tana Mongeau, Trisha Paytas. Like, they're all freaking dramatic people that no one likes. And he put himself in that situation where he is the one that is going to take the blame for it. And then a few weeks ago, he came out with an apology, like a whack apology, saying that, oh, what I did was wrong, and basically made excuses the whole time. He kept on saying the phrase, like, that person, like, no, Shane, that was you. You're that person. So you take responsibility for your actions, because it's not anyone else. It's not on that person. That was you. So, like, at this point, like, no one likes him. Well, I mean, I guess his fans don't like him. But, like, no one with the right mind likes him. You would take down all the racist videos, which he has been doing just now. No, you should have done that a long time ago. And then after the Shane Dawson apology, a bunch of people were calling him out, saying, like, that wasn't good. Like, he didn't address the whole Will Smith situation. He just made so many excuses, saying, like, oh, my mental health wasn't at the right place at that time. And it's like, your mental health, of course, I have had mental health issues, maybe not to the point that he had to deal with, but I still dealt with them. The mental health excuse, anxiety excuse, every single excuse can only get you so far. And it's not a justification for your actions. Sometimes it can be, but at the end of the day, you are the ones that still did it and you still need to take responsibility. And if your mental health caused someone else to be disappointed in you, take responsibility, because if it was your mental health that caused you to do that, take account for your why that is, and that you will get help, you know? Because at the end of the day, if you have mental health issues, everyone just wants you to get help. Because it's a mental health issue, it's a serious thing that shouldn't be messed around with the way that like YouTubers have been using it to basically get out of situations and make people feel bad for them. Basically, mental manipulation of us, and that's not right. I don't even know how I feel about like the calculated apologies, like, because like after the whole Laura Lee situation where she basically came onto camera and basically bamboozled herself, everyone saw that. I was like, okay, I need to make my apology more calculated and just sit down and talk about it and not cry, because the whole Laura Lee situation, she was basically just fooling it, trying to fool people, saying like, oh, I'm crying, feel bad for me. I rather prefer her actual response than some of these like calculated responses.
Okay, just a side note, I'm not saying Laura Lee's apology was good. It was nowhere near good. But I'm just saying that, at least it looks like she meant what she said. Whereas these calculated apologies, it seems like, oh, they're just doing it because they know what the audience wants to hear. And these apologies usually come later than what Laura Lee's apology would have, where she's just crying, because they're more calculated, and they're waiting for all the audience's questions and all the stuff that they could answer to answer it in their more calculated response, if you know what I mean. Okay, back to the video.
But that's not the point right now. Okay, a few weeks after that, Tati came out with Breaking My Silence video that was basically talking about how Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star manipulated her into making the video. I don't know at this point who to believe, No one knows at this point who to believe. No one's taking accountability for their actions, not even Tati. And then no one's Jeffree Star isn't coming out with anything, and now Tati is going silent again, so is Shane Dawson. Seems like no one's going to come up again. There's a lot of people that people think are going to come out with a video. Like Dolan twins in the past few days have been like kind of teasing something, saying like, oh, this has been really hard for especially Ethan. Which, like, at this point, I don't think it's actually about the situation. Because the whole thing where people thought that it was about the situation is because the Dolan twins was one of the people that Jeffree Star was holding against James Charles. But the text was talking about Grayson Dolan and not Ethan Dolan. So unless somehow Jeffree Star messed up on the twins, which is, they don't look alike, unless Jeffree Star actually messed up the names of the twins and he actually meant Grayson Dolan, then I don't think it's about him. And if the twins are actually just using this situation to boost their view count and to boost their social media or like YouTube presence, that's not good either, because if you remember when the whole James Charles situation got out, they basically fled. They literally left James. It was like, sorry sister, I can't stay with you any longer because you're under fire and we don't want to be under fire either. And then instead, a few months after that, they freaking filmed a video with freaking Jeffree Starfish. And pretty two-faced if you ask me. But maybe Jeffree Star was holding something against them. Who knows, If they're trying to clickbait the video early on, which is smart on their point of view, but it's not, that's just gonna make people mad, And another person that may come out is like Gabby Hanna, because she talked to Peter Mon. I think that's the first person that she talked to, where she said, oh yeah, Jeffree Star tried to make Shane Dawson say all of these things, that these like the N-word and stuff that Shane Dawson wouldn't talk about. So if Gabby, Shane knew about Jeffree Star's situation, that just makes them look even more terrible than what they have been looking at. And if that whole thing was a lie and Gabby Hanna was just trying to, you know, get back into people's minds again, saying like, oh, I have new music out, you know, follow me. But like, check out this video also, you know, I talk about the whole Shane Dawson situation. Shane Dawson and Gabby Hanna used to be friends until Shane Dawson, cameraman who used to date Gabby Hanna, started working for him. That's what Gabby said, that's the reason that they stopped hanging out with, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, wait, I keep on bouncing around, I'm sorry. Okay, Tati's video, she talked about how James and her made up behind closed doors, but she still wanted to apologize on camera, which I congratulate her for, because I feel like that was the right move. A lot of people saying like, oh, that apology wasn't good enough. But like, that apology wasn't for you, that was for James Charles. And since James Charles was at first wanting to be in the video, I'm pretty sure he accepted the apology. She also apologized to Jackie Aina, because at the point where she first collabed with Jeffree Star just had the scandal with Jackie Aina and calling her basically like gorilla and stuff like that, saying all the things about how she doesn't pay her taxes and just like very racist things. She apologized, and I watched Jackie Aina for a little bit, and in one video, I'm pretty sure it was a blendful video, where she talked about how Tati and her had some beef and now they've squashed it. Oh my god, all these food puns. I'm pretty sure they're good now also, so I'm pretty sure, audience, that you don't need to say like, that's not a good apology if they made up behind closed doors. Then she talked about the whole manipulation situation, because before the video, she talked about how she had already bad feelings about James Charles and how his ego is getting in the way and how he's basically wrecking up his whole career, and how Jeffree Star started implanting like information about James Charles into her head. And since she's a victim of, she already had like some trauma about it. When Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson told her all the situations that happened with James Charles, she felt disgusted. They basically told her that this was the right thing to do, you know? When you do this, victims of Jeffree Star, victims of Shane Dawson, oh my god, victims of James Charles will come up. But when she did post the video, no one did. And before she posted, like the night before she posted the video, she texted Shane Dawson saying like, I am scared for James Charles. He was away at in Australia, I believe, and like on the 50th floor, and she's afraid that he's gonna kill himself. Which was made to make, and then what Shane Dawson responded was like, oh, don't worry about that. He's too narcissistic to kill himself. What that did was to basically make Shane Dawson look bad, which it still does, but it also made Tati look bad at the same time, because if she knew that her video was gonna get one of her friends to commit suicide, wouldn't she just not post the video? Wouldn't she just have second thoughts about it? I don't understand what made her still post a video afterwards, you know? Now that oh my god, I'm getting all the names mixed up. Now that Jeffree Star, oh my god, now that James Charles accepted her apology, it's fine now, I guess. You know, the whole video didn't have any evidence, didn't have any receipts, what she said about that, because she knew that people was gonna, question her about that, because we need receipts to actually believe someone. She gathered a lot of information basically backing her up, and she has a lot of information about like Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson and their whole scheme. So she was like, oh yeah, I have all this information about against them and may at some point file a legal lawsuit against them, basically like kind of, I think it was defamation of character or something like that. And how she said that she was going to do that. So, I mean, that makes sense on why she didn't post anything, but kind of, you know, from the outside view, it makes it very hard to actually believe her. The whole situation is just so confusing. You don't know who to believe. You know, when James Charles came out, he actually had receipts to back him up. And the whole Jeffree Star and the voice note situation, I mean, a lot of people corroborated that there was a voice note, but there was different levels of, I mean, I don't know how intense the voice note was actually. Like, Blair White filmed a video about how Jeffree Star is a monster. You know, that was the title. In the whole video, she was basically bringing down James instead, saying how, yes, there was a voice note. And she heard it, and she reached out to the victim, saying like, oh, I'm here for you and stuff like that, which I think is good. But, you know, if you're making the video to try to make Jeffree Star look bad, you did a bad job, because you instead made James Charles look bad, because it basically validates Jeffree Star's point that there was a video. I mean, there was a voice note that is out and it was legit. I mean, she basically said how it was not a good move on Jeffree Star's point. I'm no one's puppet. Yes, you're no one's puppet, but you basically did exactly what Jeffree Star intended you to do, which was bring out that there is, in fact, a voice note.
What I'm saying is you fell into his trap, sweetie.
And also in Tati's video, she also talked about how when Jeffree Star comes out, because he will come out because his ego won't let him actually stay silent for too long. But right now, he's as silent as a mouse, and he hasn't come out with anything. He just said, like, little by little said, like, oh my god, yes, you know, I bought a car. Oh my god, yes. My grandma. If you see a friend that's going down to garbage, he is basically freaking out online, wouldn't you come to his aid? Jeffree Star is not doing that whatsoever, and I feel like that's just a little suspicious. That kind of shows that he doesn't care about anyone but himself and his career. If he comes out with a video and it's about his makeup release, I'm a freak out instead everyone else, because it's just, if he actually does that, I don't know how people will feel about it. It's probably gonna sell out because he's freaking Jeffree Star, and it's so sad that we don't hold him to the same standard as we do with some other people. Like what Tati said was like, when Jeffree Star actually comes out with a video, he's either gonna say like, oh, that's another me, I'm not that person anymore, I've changed, I've grown, and it's like all the stupid stuff that you hear everyone else say. It's like, I've grown, I promise, I will become better, I'm just trying to live my life, I'm just, I'm bothered. Basically that. And if he doesn't do that, it will probably be like all the information, all the blackmail, like in material that he has on other people, he will bring that out and just throw as many people as he can under the bus as possible when he comes out, if it's actually going to be about this situation, if he's just going to move on and say like, pretend that he's unbothered as can be. I mean, like, there's been so many lies that Jeffree Star has told that just makes no sense. Like, he lied about how he doesn't drink. Like, that's such a stupid thing to lie about. Many people drink, and what's the big deal about not drinking? I mean, you already smoke weed, so I guess why should drinking be any worse than weed, you know? But, you know, it's just like he lies about stupid stuff about like how his grandmother, he is like 100 years old, or 112 or 103, where, you know, he like the age of his grandmother just changes so many times. It just makes people think like, if you're lying about this, what other stuff are you lying about? And he also posted a picture of himself on a jet. And was like, oh, going off to see my grandmother or something like that. It's something about his grandmother. And people were like, bro, you posted the same picture of, during this month. Did he delete the picture, or I think he just enabled the comments. Like, why don't you just delete the picture? You know, that just made it so much easier. You don't have to disable any comments. You don't have to delete any comments. You just delete the whole picture. You know, it's easy peasy. Tati said that if Jeffree Star does come out with a video with all these like blackmailing material on other people, we should think about it and forgive them. And people were like, why? Well, you can't tell us what to do or to think. If they did something wrong, we're going to hold them to a certain standard. But at the same time, if they were blackmailed or was like coerced to do all the stuff that Jeffree Star is going to come out with, I don't think that's right for us to like punish them as much either. Like, I feel like if he was going to bring out all this stuff, it's because he wants to take the blame off of himself and to force us to look at other people instead of Jeffree Star, which I feel like will happen if he does come out with a video exposing everyone that he has dirt on. And I feel like when that happens, he's going to blow through the cracks and like no one's gonna come for him anymore, because Jeffree Star, I don't know what it is about him that we just hold him to a whole nother standard. There's so many things that's wrong with him, and it's just so sad that we don't have the same like cancel culture, I guess, for other people as we do for him. Because Laura Lee, we were quick to cancel, and James Charles, we were quick to cancel. Manny MA, we were quick to cancel. But when it comes to Jeffree Star, it's like no one can touch him. He's, of course, now he's losing subscribers, but not as much as, like, you know, Shane Dawson. But at the same time, I feel like the dirt on Shane Dawson is, like, immensely more than Jeffree Star. But it doesn't count for anything, though, because they're both wrong in the situation, and they both had something to do with the James Charles situation and people's mental health. People are saying, like, oh, you know, it's all Tati's fault. You know, she shouldn't just have made the video. Yeah, but it was our choice to come for James Charles as much as we did. We didn't have to believe Tati. We didn't have to take her word for it and run with it.
Just to reiterate, I'm not saying that it was the viewer's fault. It's not our fault that Tati actually posted the video. It was, however, our fault that we actually believed her before James actually had the chance to actually present his case. I'm just saying, for future reference, we should just wait until we hear both sides of the story before we drop the gun and do what we did to James towards other influencers or YouTubers, whatever you want to call them. Of course, it was still Tati's fault for posting the video. I'm not trying to blame everything on us.
There was a lot that we didn't have to do, but we did. And that, at the end of the day, is what caused the whole mess. You know, it wouldn't have been that bad if we just actually stayed silent or just waited for the other side to respond. Maybe a James Charles wouldn't have gone down the path that he was about to go down. Maybe some situations wouldn't have happened, and that's on us, because we as viewers, we can change our mind in a quick second. And also, because of everyone, the whole herd was basically against James Charles, and we as people are known to basically go along with whatever everyone else is doing, and I feel like that also played a role. And we as viewers just try to blame other people instead of ourselves, because at the end of the day, it was me that unsubscribed to James and continued to subscribe to Tati and Jeffree Star. I'm pretty sure we came for James more than Tati ever did with the whole video. It's just sad, you know, because the picture of James at the airport looking so depressed and so sad, and I just looked in the comments and people were like, oh, he deserved it. It's like, no one deserved to be at that mental state. no one deserves to have their mental health deteriorate. No one deserves having millions of people turn against them. It's just not right. And at this point, people are saying, like, we shouldn't do what we did to James, to these other people. But yeah, we shouldn't. But they had a part to do in the situation. And they deserve to be criticized. We need to hold them to accountable until they actually come out with an apology. And we need to just, hold everyone to the same place that we did with James, with Tati, with Manny, with Laura Lee. We should do that with everyone, not just, we can pick and choose who we can be that mean to. It's like, no. I don't know if I actually believe Tati. I don't know if I actually want to jump the gun and say, like, oh yeah, Tati's right. I would just want to stay neutral. I fell for it first with Tati's first video where she didn't have any evidence against James Charles, but we all jumped the gun at that point and just started hating on James Charles, and I don't want to do that. But, it's not looking good for Shane Dawson either. Right after Tati's video, he came out with the video basically saying, like, not even a video, it was an Instagram live for like few minutes talking about like how she was manipulative and she's a liar. And on the part where she talked about her, any right person would be like, oh damn, I should stop making fun of the video. But no, Shane Dawson instead wanted to say like, oh my gosh, she's so manipulative. And I was molested when I was a child. We shouldn't invalidate any other people's experiences just because you had it worse. Maybe you had it worse as a child, but that's still what they had to go through, and that was still, like, I'm pretty sure Tati after this all was basically suffering just as much as any person would if they had gone through what Tati went through. And no right human would say that she was being manipulative. And if you want to think about it that way, I mean, I guess that's your prerogative. But I don't think she was. Because, when she said that, that was her explanation of why she quickly jumped the gun and dropped James Charles as quick as she did. Because she had that history, and I guess she was just looking back on how other people didn't do what she was about to do for, like, James's supposed victims, That was her explanation of why she did what she did. And that was not her trying to be manipulative. That was her trying to explain her side of the story. And why would that be the first thought that would come through our mind? Is that, oh, she was assaulted? Manipulation. It's like, no. Say, like, how Shane said in the thing how he was molested. Well, if we did the same thing that he did to Tati, if he came out with a video saying how he was molested, we wouldn't jump the gun and was like, oh, you're being manipulative. You're trying to twist the story. You're being manipulative. Stop it. It's like, no, we will be supportive of that. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that for what you had to go through. Like, no one would think for a second that he was trying to be manipulative. All these people need to just shut up for a few minutes and just actually evaluate on what they were going to say, what they said. Shane Dawson's fiance, Ryland Adams, came out with a tweet saying how basically dissing Tati. Like, Tati's age has been like a very important thing for some reason. It was like brought up so many times. It was like, oh, she's almost 30. Yes, she's almost 30, but we can make mistakes at any point. And it's just not right to point out Tati's age. If you wanted to point out people's age, like, how old is Shane Dawson because his whole career was basically based off of racist things. And I don't know how to feel about that. If you're going to support either Shane Dawson or Jeffree Star, you shouldn't support the Black Lives Matter movement. They're known racists, and it's been proven that they were known racists, and maybe still are. You shouldn't be supporting the Black Lives Matter movement because they go hand in hand. And if you're going to support known racists, then you're not doing the right part for the Black Lives Matter movement. And they didn't even do much for the Black Lives Matter movement either. I mean, Shane Dawson did post a lot on his Twitter about the whole situation. Tati didn't even mention it in her video, which I was surprised at. People were waiting for her actual thing about the Black Lives Matter movement. If she even talked about it in the video, I'm pretty sure people have been a lot more forthcoming than actually did. Have. And I'm pretty sure Jeffree Star tweeted like a few tweets, and that was basically it. I mean, like, these are people who have millions of dollars that they can donate. Yeah, but like, I'm not saying donate everything. I talked about this in my other video about the second Black Lives Matter video I did, where like they could just have posted one video where the proceeds went to charity for the Black Lives Matter movement, and we would have been happy about that. It's just that these people only talk about it on all the other platforms other than YouTube, which is their main income. And it's just, why? You know? Why talk about it on everywhere else but here? Like, this is where you were basically famous for, and this is just water. With Shane Dawson, he posted a bunch about the Black Lives Matter movement before he went dormant. But it's like, you are known, you were surrounding yourself with the most basically racist person out there, and that was Jeffree Star. And like, why would you can't support the Black Lives Matter and Jeffree Star at the same time? That's just not, you know, what it doesn't click. James Charles recently came out, was basically caught by paparazzi. Oh, yeah, what's your situation on Shane Dawson? He basically didn't respond because he didn't want to talk about it. The paparazzi person kept pushing it, and he was like, you know, it should be looked at on a case-on-case basis, and which I think is, you know, yes, good on you. The person also questioned him about Tati, and he basically said, I don't want to answer any questions related to her. Which I think it's surprising, because wouldn't you just have... You could have just easily said, yes, Tati and I are still friends, and that would have confirmed everything that Tati said, basically. And he could have easily just said, no, Tati and I aren't friends, and it would be like, oh, Tati lied. And it would be like pretty easy to, like, you know, talk about.
Okay, I have a lot more information I want to talk about, so I'll try to make this fast. I'm using my phone camera right now for a little more extra lighting, considering right now it's like 10 o'clock at night. Okay, so Rylan Adams also talked about Tati, saying how she basically took Shane for granted, considering how Shane promoted all of her Halo Beauty stuff and how she sold out of it. I don't think anyone should hold, just because someone did something good for a person, they should hold that thing over someone's head forever. Jeffree Star even said that to Cam Lester, I believe, that just because James Charles did something good for you doesn't mean you owe him forever, which I think applies here with Tati and Shane Dawson. Also, Morphe is known for supplying like Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson items in their store, and there's like basically came out and said that we don't support anything that Shane Dawson has done, and we are basically taking all of Shane Dawson's items off their shelves. But however, they said that Jeffree Star is still going to be with them, and they basically like support him, I guess. But now, since people are basically taking their discount codes away, all these like influencers like Jackie Aina, I believe, was the one that first came out and said that take away my Morphe code, I don't want it anymore. So I'm pretty sure because of that, Morphe saw all the money that they could possibly lose off of the situation, and now they're slowly trying to take away Jeffree Star items, like their makeup and stuff like that. And there was also a video out that Jeffree Star may be like a co-owner of Morphe, but Morphe denied that. But also, it could be possible that Jeffree Star is actually a co-owner of Morphe, but just under a different name or from another person. So on paper, he's not a co-owner, but he might be in like actual life. That's a possibility also. And oh, another thing, Jeffree Star is not actually like the owner of Killer Merch. He on paper he is nowhere mentioned as one of the owners or co-owners whatsoever, so that's kind of iffy. And also, Killer Merch is continuing to sell Shane Dawson merch, and fans of Jeffree Star and is basically coming at him, saying like, take all of this stuff out. We don't want to be supporting a pedophile and a racist. So they got that also going for them, and that's it. This is already a pretty long video, so I'm really sorry about that, but back to the video.
Anyways, that's it for the video. Remember to like and subscribe. Oh wait, no. We still need to talk about the shout out of the day. Okay, today's shout out of the day is, drum roll please, I'm sorry if I say the name wrong. Shamhae, SHAM space HAE. There we go. Her makeup style is basically Korean Ozang makeup, and I think it's cute. She looks adorable in it. She looks so good, and she is just, amazing. Her videos are relatively short, so if you can breeze through them in a quick, and she doesn't post much either, so you can basically scroll all the way down to her first video and work from there, because she doesn't have a lot of videos on her channel. So yeah. Okay, and that's finally it. Remember to like and subscribe and follow all my social media, which is in the description box down below. And remember to wear protection, and I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.